The room fell silent before anyone even realized it, not because of a speech a broken bar, not because of a scandal a broken bar, but because of one Marina standing tall, rigid, and stone-faced refusing a handshake that millions watching later would never forget. It happened in a crowded hall where Senator John Kennedy had been invited to honor veterans returning from an overseas humanitarian mission. Cameras flashed, reporters leaned forward. It was supposed to be a simple ceremony, warm, patriotic, predictable, but life often writes its own script. And that script changed the moment Senator Kennedy extended his hand toward a young Marine named Corporal Tyler Grant. Tyler didn't move, didn't blink, didn't lift even a finger. His eyes stayed locked forward, jaw tense, knuckles whitening around the folded flag he carried against his chest. The crowd froze. Kennedy froze. Even the cameras hesitated, as if unsure whether to keep rolling. Then slowly, almost painfully, as the senator lowered his hand. But instead of embarrassment a broken bar, instead of anger a broken bar, a look of deep, piercing understanding crossed his face. And that was when everything changed. The Marine story that no one knew. Tyler Grant had returned home only a week earlier, but home didn't feel like home anymore. He had lost his best friend, Staff Sergeant Evan Brooks, during a rescue operation that had gone wrong in a remote valley overseas. Evan wasn't just a fellow Marine. He was Tyler's mentor, his brother in all but blood, the man who pushed him in training and pulled him out of danger more times than anyone could count. Tyler held the memory like a wound that wouldn't close. At the ceremony, his refusal to take Kennedy's hand wasn't disrespect. It was grief, raw, unfiltered, still bleeding. What nobody in that crowd knew, broken bar, what no reporter had been told a broken bar, was that the folded flag pressed against Tyler's heart belonged to Evan, and he had sworn he wouldn't accept a handshake, or any honor, until he delivered that flag to Evan's family himself. Kennedy's unexpected reaction. Silence still gripped the hall. A few reporters exchanged whispers. A veteran in the corner lowered his head in empathy. Someone in the audience muttered about disrespect. But Kennedy raised his hand, not to protest, not to shame him, but to quiet the room. Leave him be. His voice was calm, steady. Then, to everyone's shock, the senator stepped closer, and not with authority, but with humility. He leaned in and, in a voice only Tyler could hear, asked softly, "Who was he?" Tyler's breath shook. For the first time in days, words managed to escape him. "Staff Sergeant Evan Brooks, a broken bar, sir." Kennedy nodded slowly, his eyes dropping to the flag. "Would you a broken bar?" The senator paused, searching for the right words. "Would you tell me about him?" No cameras caught what happened next. No microphones hovered near. Just a young Marine wounded beyond the surface, and a seasoned senator listening like a father to a grieving son. Tyler spoke haltingly at first. Then the dam broke. Stories of boot camp. Stories of nights under open foreign skies. Stories of Evan's courage, humor, stubbornness. The hall watched in stunned silence. This wasn't politics. This wasn't ceremony. This was human. The moment that broke everyone. When Tyler finished, his voice barely a whisper, Kennedy did something no one expected. He placed a hand, gentle, careful, on the Marine's shoulder. Then he stepped back, took a deep breath, and addressed the room. "This young man," he said, voice thick with emotion, "is carrying a weight no one should have to carry alone. And today a broken bar, we honor him, and the hero he carries in his heart." His words echoed like a prayer. But the breaking moment came next. Kennedy turned toward Tyler again and said, "Son, if you will allow me, broken bar, I would be honored to go with you to deliver that flag to Staff Sergeant Brooks' family." The crowd gasped. Tyler's composure shattered. His lips trembled, and for the first time since returning home, tears overflowed. He nodded once, slow, heavy, grateful. The Marine who refused a handshake accepted something far greater, companionship and grief. The journey that healed two families. 3 days later, Kennedy and Tyler visited the Brooks family. No media, no announcements, no speeches, just a mother, a father, a folded flag, and two men standing beside Amy, one grieving, one supporting. Tyler placed the flag in Evan's mother's hands, and Kennedy stood silently behind him, a steady presence. The mother hugged Tyler, whispering through tears, "He spoke of you like a brother." Something inside Tyler finally broke free. He wept openly, not in sorrow alone but in release, Kennedy stepped forward and embraced them all. A final message for everyone watching. When Kennedy finally spoke publicly weeks after the moment went viral, he said something that resonated across the nation. Sometimes the strongest thing a man can do is stand still a broken bar, and the kindest thing another can do is stand with him. The handshake refused that day was not a rejection, it was a cry for understanding. And what Kennedy did next wasn't political, it wasn't strategic, it wasn't for cameras, it was simply human. A reminder that beneath the uniforms, titles, and differences a broken bar we all need someone who sees our pain, someone who stays, someone who shows up, someone who listens. In the end, the moment that shocked the room, a broken bar, became the moment that healed a heart, and it left millions with a message they would remember. Honor isn't always given in ceremonies. Sometimes, it's given in quiet rooms, broken voices, and the courage to stand beside someone who cannot stand alone.